Shalom, hermanos. Blessing. Shabbat shalom. Shalom. Hag Sameach. I'm sorry, I'm just a little nervous, but okay. Ready. So, I feel honored on being here in this feast. I feel pleased because I'm sharing this time with all of you. So, I was preparing this ceremony to share with all of you, not only with the adults, but also with the youth, because we are all together as a one family. So, becoming a complete ambassador. I was in 2015 being part of the school. That was one of our main material, ambassador for the goodwill of Yahweh. So I was trying to bring the most important things from that Bible study. I truly recommend you to go over that Bible study. It's very important. I would like to start with 2 Corinthians 5:20. And it says, the Bible says, then on behalf of Messiah, we are all ambassadors. So, praise Yahweh, right? We are in this feast. It's amazing. And at the same time, I like to think that we are in Yeshua's Ambassador International Convention, right? We are celebrating the feast of Yahweh, but all of us, we are representing different places from where we are coming. And it sounds amazing for me, right? And I also like to think that one day when Yeshua sits in the Mount of Olive, he will call our name and he will say, good and faithful servant, reign over 5, 10, 7 cities, right? But before we get that point, we need to get ready. So that's the idea of this ceremony, right? To understand that we need to become complete ambassadors. And this Bible study about being an ambassador help us to develop our life. Since we get into the baptism, so we are going to have 2 baptism today, and I think this will be a good Bible study also. But I was trying to condense as much as I can this. So I was looking in the Bible. A good example, of course, we have Yeshua. This is the first example that we need to follow. But in the same way, I was looking for any prophet that fulfilled this role of an ambassador. And I found Daniel. Daniel, for me, in the role of as ambassador, he did it amazing. And I would like to share just 2 verses of the book of Daniel. So let's go to, the book of Daniel. Chapter 1, just verse 3 and verse 4. And the king spoke to Aspenaz, the chief of the eunuchs, that he should bring some of the sons of Israel, and of the seed of the king, and of the nobles, young men in whom was no blemish, but who were a good appearance, and having understanding, wisdom, having knowledge, teachables, understanding, learning, even those with strength in them to stand in the king's palace, and to teach them the writing and the language of the Chaldeans. Just in the first verse 3, right? We already know about Daniel. He is a prominent figure in the Bible. We know Daniel because, for his wisdom, faithfulness, the ability to interpret dreams, vision, and those are gifts that Yahweh gave him, special gift. But still, we need to be ready to receive the gift of Yahweh. Yahweh is not going to give you a gift if we are not getting ready in ourselves to develop that and put it in practice. One thing that I would like to mention, Daniel was a young man. He was not an adult. The Hebrew word for young is yaled. It's talking about just a youth between 15 18 years old. So fits very well with many of us right here. So it gives me the chance to think, okay, this is an opportunity for everybody to fit in the role of an ambassador. And so when we are reading these verses, right, in the same way, I'm pretty sure that Yahweh is going to, once Yeshua is in his throne, he will start calling no blemish one, understanding, all the one who has wisdom, all the one who are knowledgeable in different things, the one who has understanding. Okay, and I would like just to go very quick on some of these qualities. No blemish one, right? So this direct connects me to Revelation 14:4. No blemish one. Revelation 14:4. And these are the ones who had not become defiled, for they are pure. So, no blemish one. The Hebrew word for blemish is mum. What does it mean? With no stain, not mixed physically and morally. Practicing something that is not considered, that is considered useless. Let me read this again. Practicing something that is considered useless or without value. This specific meaning should caught our attention, right? Because we already have an advice from the book of Ephesians 5. Ephesians chapter 5, 15 to 17. So we will see. Then watch how carefully you walk, not as an unwise, but as a wise one. Redeem the time. This is a very important advice. Redeem the time, because the days are evil. For this reason, do not be foolish, but understanding what the will of Elohim is. So, we can see right now that we cannot lose our time in things that are useless. We cannot mix our life with immoral things. So that's, I understand that Yahweh is calling us to become ambassadors with no blemish on us. Understanding, that's another quality that Daniel was showing us. The Hebrew word for understanding is chokmah. This means he was genuinely intelligent. He understands concept rather than just memorizing. And I always says this: what's the benefit of memorizing all the Bible and you don't know how to apply it to your life? What's the benefit of memorizing everything but you are not able to solve problems? You're not able to overcome your own situation in your life. So we can see that Daniel was not able only to understand, but he was able to solve problems with the knowledge that was given to him. Yes, in the book of Romans, we have something very similar. Romans chapter 2, verse 13. Romans 2:13. Okay. For not the hearers of the Torah are the righteousness with Elohim, but the doers of the Torah shall be justified. So we need to put in practice everything we are learning right here. Another word, another quality in Daniel was wisdom. The Hebrew word for wisdom is sachal. This refers to having discriminative knowledge. Okay, let's say it in a different way. Distinctive knowledge. In other words, is to have discernment, perceive subtleties, ideas on people. Let's read Matthew just to have a better idea on this. Matthew 10. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. 16 to 20. 10, 16. Okay, behold, I send you as a sheep in the midst of the wolf. Therefore, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. But be aware of men, for they will deliver you to the house of judgment, and they will scourge you in their assemblies. And also I will be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, do not be anxious. How or what are you should say. For it is given to you in the hour what you should say. Okay. Being wise and harmless. So to have a distinctive knowledge means we need to know. We need to be. And we need to know how to react in the different situation. As Elder Don was saying the other day in the message, we don't need to be afraid, even though we are going through different situations. And we can see this in Daniel. Even though he's going through a difficult situation, can you believe it? Be taken from his homeland and taken into a different place. But he was like always in the States as an ambassador. Wisdom, this word sahal also means to be emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, as we have been taught. Success is not because of how much knowledge you have, it's how mature you are in your life, to have emotional maturity. For us to overcome situations, trials, things that we need to overcome in our life to become better believers, is part of our emotionally matureness. So we cannot blame a mother our fails. We need to have this wisdom, recognize, use the word, use what we are learning to overcome. But this need emotional maturity. I remember in 2015 when Elder Don was anointing me as an elder. He told me, pray for discernment. And that is one of the best recommendations that I got in those days, discernment. Because in these days, when we are living, discernment is one of the things that we need to overcome, to see, to go, to be directed by the Holy Spirit. Another quality in Daniel is knowledgeable. This word in Hebrew is being, to have good understanding. This refers to the ability to learn and effectively communicate what it has been learned. To have critical thinking, observation, to be in the capacity to allow your house to continue. This is our house, right? We have critical thinking. We need to observe, but also all the things that we are learning, we need to be able to pass this knowledge to others. It doesn't matter if they are unbelievers. It doesn't matter if in your house. We have to have the capacity to pass the information for others, use it in the best of their ability. We are in this world where confusion is everywhere. We need to be able to preserve the doctrine that we are having right here. Another quality is suitable to be in the king's palace, and this brings my attention to the kingdom. We need to be suitable to be in the king's palace. That word is amath, suitable, amath. This refers to a person with ethics, discipline, self-control. So remember, one of the fruit of the Spirit, self-control. It will help us a lot to overcome situation, impulses. Persons who control their impulses, control their body, especially during important events. Having a perfect attitude and impeccable matters is essential. So I like to think this, suitable to be in the king's place. One day we're going to be in the Yeshua's presence. We need to become suitable in front of his eyes. Let's read 2 Timothy 2:15. Because one of the things that will help us to become suitable in front of Yahweh's eyes, Yeshua's eyes, 2 Timothy 2:15. Study study to present yourself approved to Elohim, a workman in shame, rightly dividing the word of truth. So study the Bible. That's our inspiration. That's our tool for us to become suitable. Yes, there are a lot of books that we can read, how to become father, how to become a good husband, but nothing compared with the Bible, the Word of Yahweh. So I was going through all these characteristics present in Daniel. It caught my attention because for me he was a complete ambassador. It's like my example to move. I'm not saying that I'm there. I'm saying that I would like to become like him, become like Yeshua, right? And today that we're going to have two baptisms. So I highly recommend for these two good new members to read this Bible study, the Ambassador for the Goodwill of Yeshua. In English, it's around 25 pages, I think. In Spanish, it's 45 pages. We have, it's our language, we use more words to express what is expressed simply in English, but still, it's a good, excellent. So, just to mention something very quick, once our new brothers get into the baptism today, they're going to become believers under a covenant, and they will start having responsibilities. I would like just to mention 5, because this is the start of their career of becoming an ambassador. Presentation, an ambassador, representation. An ambassador is chosen by the king to represent an state or kingdom, acting as an official messenger of the sovereign. So in this case, Yeshua said, "You don't choose me, I choose you. Nobody can come to me unless Yahweh, the Father, brings closer to me." So we need to think about that. Adherence to the government policies, not our own views. Once we get into the baptism, we die to our own life. It's not our decision. Let's look for Yahweh's will. It's not our own view. Ensuring that our action reflects the desire and purposes of the sovereign. In this case, we are not representing ourselves. I'm not representing Nicaragua. I'm representing Yahweh's kingdom. Number 3, communication of the kingdom message. That's why we are here. That's why we recommend always read the Bible, study the material. Our highest priority is to communicate the kingdom's message. It's not my message. It's Yahweh's message. We become servant, and the best leadership is the one who serves, not the one who are just giving orders. We're expected to serve humbly and lead by example, embodying the principle of the kingdom in our interactions. Preparedness to defend our faith. That's why we need to always be in our state, always be ready to give answers. We have all the answers. We have answer for every situation in the world. Why the world is suffering? We have the answer. How we can get the salvation? We have the answer. We have the answer through Yahweh's word. So those are our main responsibilities, right? And we need to start moving on developing the right character of an ambassador. The qualities of an ambassador is something that we need to grow up on them. It's not that we got it. Maybe there are some who has excellent communication skill. There are some brothers and sisters who has, that facility to communicate ideas. Some others not. So, but we need to learn. We need to learn. We need to ask Yahweh for good gift, for the purpose of the Yahweh's kingdom. We need to grow in the fruit of the Spirit. I was telling yesterday to these new members in the congregation that the fruit of the Spirit is something that we are going to enjoy, that we are going to take advantage of. But then we need to produce fruit. Produce fruit is everything that we are doing for the sake of the kingdom and bring more to Yeshua for their salvation. So I would like to go over all the qualities, but I have right here 18 qualities, so that's why I'm recommend you to read the ambassador's goodwill for the kingdom. Hopefully this sermon helps each one of us, not just the adult, but also the youth, to understand that even though we are in different ages, like Daniel, we can become good ambassador for the goodwill of Yahweh. So may Yahweh bless you. Thank you very much. Greeting for all the brothers and sisters in Nicaragua. They're having a good also feast, but they said hi also. Thank you everyone. Thank you.